Oh my God, are you okay? Like, are you okay? Annie, are you okay? Like, Sammy, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Sammy? Yeah, that's right. I was starting off with an alien ant farm reference, and no one else. It's a reference to no one else. Oh my God. I'm sure you and everyone else, everyone you know, look to your left, look to your right, knock on someone's door, wait for them to answer, let them open it up, and I'm sure that you are all feeling some type of way. And that way is pretty shitty because it happened. Wrestle Canada happened. Sami Zayn took on Roman Reigns for the undisputed Universal Fisher Price Heavyweight Championship. And oh boy, was it a lot? And look, I I can sit here and wax poetic about this and use a lot of cliches and speak in very vague general terms and not actually say much of substance or note, but I will not be able to do this moment, this match, this environment justice, all the cliches in the world, all the vague epicness I can use to describe this will not give it justification for just how abundantly beautiful this was. This main event was everything. It was perfect. It genuinely was magical. Every once in a while, wrestling has these magical moments. And for the last few years, we've had to fabricate them and force them ourselves. But this one has been a perfect this has been perfect synchronization between us and the company. We've all come together for this beautiful dance that is the saga of Sami Zayn. And there is a cat meowing outside my door right now, but she doesn't understand how high the stakes are and how much she's crying out there. We're crying in here. Everyone is sad right now, but it feels good. It feels good to feel something about wrestling, doesn't it? And like I said, I'm saying a lot of nonsense. I haven't specified a single fucking thing yet about this match, about this main event, about this wonderful story that we've all just went through. Because where do you even begin? How do you do it justice? You can't describe what happened and do it justice. It really was a poem in that regard. Sammy and Roman made poetry, and we were just people reading a poetry book on the subway, getting way too emotional for the public spaces we may or may not have been in. Fun fact, I almost got into a fight on this train today, and maybe I'll tell that story at the end of the show. But Roman enters first. Normally, I think it's a pet peeve for a lot of wrestling fans, but in this case, it makes perfect sense. The heat he gets. Usually you get that Roman pop, even when the crowd wants the other person to win, which is most times, Roman still gets a reaction because he's been champion for about 8 years. So, it makes sense. And Michael Cole made a reference to Bruno Sammartino and how his 8-year title reign ended in this very building. Roman came out first, got a bunch of fuck you Roman chants, a lot of boos, a lot of fuck you Roman chants tonight. I love it. Love it. Bring that shit back. I don't care how much good work he's done. I'm always up for a fuck you Roman chant. His music finishes and he is basking in this heat. The boos, the fuck you Romans, the Sammy chants, the Olay chants, they let all of them play. You almost worry to a point that Sammy's music's going to hit while they're in the middle of a chant and it's going to ruin the pop. But they waited and they waited and they waited. And eventually the crowd was like, okay, well, it's come. It has to be coming now. Out comes Sami Zayn, 2 worlds apart. I know they brought it back on SmackDown, but this was still beautiful and magical. The emotion on his face. He had his family all over the front row. The environment Oh my God, just hearing the Let's Go and his music again, hearing the crowd sing along. I know we all love singing along to Seth's song, but Sammy is one of the OGs along with Knox, for having that music that just makes you want to sing along to it, even though there's no words. This moment is just so beautiful. This is WrestleMania for Sammy. This is the uh, pinnacle for him. This WrestleMania is going to be great for him. We'll talk about it, but this was WrestleMania for Sami Zayn. And this was better than any WrestleMania moment he could have ever imagined. They do not wrestle. The bell rings. They do not lock up. They do not touch each other for about 5 whole minutes of just soaking in the crowd reaction, the overwhelming Olay chants, the overwhelming Sammy chants, the hilariously loud fuck you Roman chants, the acknowledgement of the fuck you Roman chants. This was beautiful. This was Roman after beating The Undertaker on the Raw after Mania levels of heat, and they just basked in it over and over and over. And if they didn't wrestle for 15 minutes, I think most people would have been fine with that because you just can't. This was Punk in Chicago. This was MJF in Long Island. This was Punk in Chicago. There's no comparison to this. This was a perfect environment. This was RVD One Night Stand. This is that kind of crowd, that passion, that level of volume, the actual volume of the crowd. And when the crowd went nuts when Sammy put Roman in a side headlock. That's how every single thing they did got a reaction from the crowd. Nothing in this match failed to get the loudest reaction of the night. And the crowd was hot all night. The crowd was hot all night. Great job, Canada. Oh boy, great job. But early on in the match, of course, Roman's going to take control. You know he loves his slow, methodical beatdowns where he does fucking nothing for minutes, but hit 1 or 2 moves, mouth off to his opponent, mouth off a little to the crowd, which normally he really doesn't mouth off to the crowd. It's usually just to his opponent. But, he understood the assignment. He understood where they were and what was going on and what needed to be done. Because Roman usually, he almost belittles his opponent, but like in a way where he's talking to himself. Like he's more or less thinking out loud and happens to be hovering right over his opponent. But the volume was a little bit turned up for Roman this time because he needed everything he said to be heard. And every time Sammy had a hope spot in this match, the crowd came unglued, and rightfully so. Now, I can honestly tell you that this match didn't do anything crazy whatsoever, but it was perfect. Like it was just that fucking beautiful of an environment and such a well-crafted story that it didn't matter. The story carried the match, and this might go down as match of the year because it was just that. Maybe it wasn't the best match technically, and it won't. There'll be fucking hundreds of matches better than it, but none of those matches will have this level of story. Sammy, at one point of the match, one of the first big near falls, Sammy hits a Superman punch on Roman and hits a Helluva Kick. We get a kick out. Of course, it's wrestling in the modern day. The finisher is not going to win the match the first time. We have a lot of shenanigans. We have Roman hit a Superman punch, and Sammy. Usually Roman has the best kickouts in WWE. He has those 2.9 kickouts down fucking pat. Sammy did this match too. And he did it with just putting up the shoulder, not the arm, just literally limply putting up the shoulder. uh, we have a ref bump because it's a Roman main event. You know we're gonna get some shenanigans. Sami has the visual pin. The crowd counts up to maybe 6 before Sami gets up and tries to get a ref. We have Jimmy Uso drunk driving his way over the border into Canada, despite their very reasonable laws keeping him out. And he super kicks Sami over and over and hits a splash and puts Roman on top. Uh, which one was it? Was it the was it from the spear? Is that the one you're talking about? Or whatever, it's fine. But Jimmy puts the Roman over Sami and brings a new referee comes out. 1, 2, another last microsecond kick out from Sami Zayn. The crowd comes unglued. This crowd was perfect because not only were they into every moment of this match, but they played along. They bought in because they wanted to see it. And sometimes, man, we need to do that more as fans of things. We need to just go along for the ride and suspend our disbelief because it'll make the match better. Sami kicks out of all the interference, all the shenanigans. Roman gets a chair. He's going to finish Sami with the chair after the second ref goes down because there's so many ref bumps and shenanigans in this match. Out comes Jey Uso standing in the way. Roman starts mouthing off to him. Roman hands him the chair parallel to just a month ago at the Rumble and how he handed the chair to Sami. And just like he did at the Rumble, Roman turned his back to the guy with the chair. And oh boy, do they love making Roman turn his back to friends and family with chairs who are very, very likely to stab him in the back. They did that beautiful parallel at the Rumble. They did it again here. Jimmy, crucially, did not do it. He wanted to. You know he wanted to. It was clear as day. But instead, Roman gets in his face, pushes him around a little bit, and then Sami gets up, tries to spear Roman, but Roman moves, and Sami spears Jey, which allows Roman to just run wild, bash Sami over and over again with the chair, and finally hit a spear to pick up the win. One thing I will note that I already forgot to, because I didn't write any notes. We're just kind of vibing through this. We're going off of the feelings, and all the feelings are good. It was a good show. But when they were on the outside, Roman went for the stupid spear through the barricade spot that I'm so sick of in wrestling. That's not a Roman, specifically just a Roman thing. He does it a lot, but he's not the only one. But for what feels like the first time ever, someone just fucking sidestepped him and let him crash through. And I love that spot. Yeah, that's the one I like, Eric. That's not the silly one. That's good when they just put the shoulder up because they can't get the arm up. That's fucking good. I like those kickouts. But yeah, I loved Sami just sidestepping the spear. It feels like that was so refreshing because Roman didn't do anything new in this match. Roman doesn't do anything new in matches, but that felt like a new twist on his typical match layout. But yeah, so Roman gets the win. Everyone's sad. Everyone's mad. Everyone's upset. It's not as much bullshit as the Ass Boys being the Acclaim for the tag titles, but this crowd wanted to see Sami win, and he didn't win. After the match, Jimmy starts beating up Sami, and who would make the save but Kevin Owens? Comes down, beats the shit out of Jimmy, beats the shit out of Reigns, and just as he looks like he's waiting for Roman to get up in the corner so he can hit him with a stunner, he feels Sami back up on his feet behind him, and he steps out of the way, lets Sami hit the Luva kick, and very keenly, he does not hug Sami, he does not shake his hand, he simply looks at him and then leaves. And that's it. He made the save, didn't really interact with Sami. The tension's still there, so they still have to make up. So we have our story for the next few weeks, and that's what is going to make this interesting. Besides all the Jay stuff, but yeah, Eric, I agree. Kevin and Sami not making up is important, and yeah, I think it does. Explain why I didn't help him during the match because he's not over it. The same way. Hey, Sami didn't make the save for Owens until very, very late in the beatdown. Owens got the shit beat out of him before Sami stepped in. So, Kevin's returning the favor in every sense of the saying here tonight. Exactly. Yeah, we're on the same page here, producer boy. It's almost like you should have been here with me. But real quick tangent. James, Chad, Rev, Nick, where are you guys? What's going on? Nick, I know you watched the show. Rev, I know you're drunk, but that's never stopped you before. Chad, I know you're big bad, but I have my doubts about that. And James, why are we at your house right now? Everyone wanted Wendy back on the pod, and you're slowing us down. And interruption and interrevtion. And revtervention. But anyway, this was fucking beautiful. Like unbelievably great. And yet, see, Eric, we were talking about this, and I know it was predictable. I mean, it's not the same one, but the one thing I liked that made it unpredictable, or not what I thought anyway, was Jey Uso's interaction in this match, because I thought he was going to reluctantly betray Sami and side with the Bloodline for now to set up the tag match. But having Sami accidentally spear him was actually interesting to me. That was a very interesting wrinkle in this that I didn't expect. And I guess that's how we're going to get the motivation for the match. But because I really thought he would just, he wouldn't want to, but he ultimately would side with his family and betray Sami. So I'll take that out. Chad's married now. Congrats, Chad. Way to be married. Salute. I'm gonna take a sip of water while everyone cheer for Chad. But yeah, this was a fantastic main event. I think it's what a lot of people wanted. I know we all wanted Sami to win, but I think a lot of us have grown to accept the reality of it, and we have all the Jey stuff and the character stuff that's gonna really, really drive the story forward from here and make us more accepting of this result. Because ultimately, when Sami and Kevin defeat the Usos and take their titles and save Jey from the Bloodline, and Jey's finally stands up to Roman like fully, it'll be worth it, and it'll be okay that Sami didn't win the title, and we'll all kind of get over it and be happy about it and realize that there can be a way in the future for Sami to win the title. I mean, easier by them just not being Kevin and Sami. I mean, Jimmy's a piece of shit. We won't hate Jey. That's the point of this, is that we'll be conflicted and we'll want Jey to be good. But we've realized that it won't happen while he's still with the Bloodline, while he's still loyal to his brother and his cousin. So we'll hate Jimmy, which, Jimmy isn't a strong enough character to really carry this level of heat and momentum, but he's going to have to do it. I don't think he screws Jimmy at Mania, but I do think he just walks away, and I think they'll lose. He'll embrace Sami after the match, and Jimmy won't like it, but he'll walk off with Kevin and Sami, or Jimmy will walk off on his own and he'll stay with them. And that'll be how this progresses. Because I don't see a world where Jey goes full-fledged heel from this. He's just going to be conflicted. He's going to want to turn babyface and just, for lack of a better term, he'll edge for a little bit on the line of being a babyface. And then once he loses the titles, It'll be like that sports like cliche of a loss really having you come to terms with reality and respect your opponent and have that see the light moment where he's like, okay, you were right all along. Like in a movie where like two good guys have to fight it out for some reason, and because sometimes words just aren't enough. It'll be something along those lines, and it'll be fantastic. I've never had, or maybe I have. I just can't remember the last time I cared about wrestling this much and like didn't get what I wanted, but I'm very happy and satisfied with that and still excited. And that's how it feels. Yo, what is up? And Jinx, um, did you watch the show? How crazy was it? How emotional are you? Are you okay? Are you okay, Jinx? Is anyone watching this? Eric, are you okay? Any of you people in here right now, are you okay? Understandable if you're not, but oh boy. So we're gonna just this the road to. It's crazy that the road to WrestleMania is this exciting. That the road itself is just as exciting as the destination. Like the journey really is what this is all about. And I can't wait for it. Like I'm so excited for how we get there, not just getting there. It's the how we get there. Maybe I'm so sorry, but maybe the real undisputed Universal Fisher Price Heavyweight Championship were the friends we made along the way. But I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you're okay, Jinx. It was a wild journey, but no, that's the exact thing. Like I think we're all kind of sad about it, but being sad and feeling sad about this is what's good. It's just nice that it's made us feel this passionately and this strongly about something. And it's one of those things where it's not what we want, but we know it's for the best, and we know it's still going to be worth it in the end. There's still going to be a payoff. This isn't like old times where the person we wanted to win, and we're like, oh fuck, we're not gonna get what we want. And yeah, I agree. Our best Red WrestleMania since at least 30. Also the best chamber since 2014, which was the one right before WrestleMania 30. Because that's the last time where I was like, oh, this pay-per-view is amazing. It had the Wyatt's versus the Shield and what was the best elimination chamber until today, in like a decade. Amazing show, just sad, such an amazing storyline, should have ended at Mania. I agree full depth to a degree. Like, I don't know. That's what I want. I want it to end at Mania. I want the culmination to be a Mania. I really, really do. But they've done such a good job of juggling these stories and making me want Cody too, and making me not resent Cody, because I want Cody to get booed still. I still want that because I think he deserves it for leaving AEW, but like not right now. They've done such a good job. They made me want to see Cody versus Sami. They made me want to see a triple threat. They make me want to see Cody versus Roman, Sami versus Roman. Like they made me want to see everyone but The Rock. Actually, can we take a quick second to say I'm actually really happy that The Rock is nowhere near this, because he would actually ruin this story. This story is so good that adding The Rock to it would make it worse. What fucking timeline are we living in? Bro, because that's the thing, right? That's what I realized with Roman's reign. I hated the middle of Roman's reign. The beginning was cool when he first was, manipulating Jay and abusing him, and it was interesting. And then he fought Edge, he fought Cena, he fought Lesnar, and then he fought Lesnar, and then he fought Lesnar, and then he fought Lesnar. Roman facing these fucking legends is what were the worst parts of this title reign. And I've realized that the best parts of this title reign were facing Jay, facing Brian, facing Cesaro, like, and now facing Sami, facing Kevin Owens. Fucking the legends were the worst part of this. Unbelievable. What world is this? How does this make sense? But yeah, I'm glad we're all in agreement that The Rock would make this story worse. But yeah, such a great job. Just isn't it nice to feel things? Isn't it nice to run the gambit of emotions because of wrestling? Like we get it. We had it with Hangman and it was great. But like this, we knew that was coming for so long. This came out of nowhere and then built organically and built to a pinnacle that again we saw coming, but still took us for that roller coaster. And the environment helped. The crowd made it unforgettable. Hats off to Montreal. I don't wear hats when I do recording. I don't know how Rev does it with headphones. A hat, it's a headache waiting to happen. But hats off to Montreal. Hats off to all the "fuck you Roman" chants. I think there were one or two chants that might have been in French that I couldn't fully understand, but I'm sure they were great. I believe in you, crowd, and I take your word at face value, except for when you're cheering Italian. But we'll get to that. Just borderline perfect, right? I think we can all agree. There's not much more that could have made this better. Uh, you thought Rock was coming out when Sami and Reigns were laid out. Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, that's the thing. They were, but that's what you gotta do. That's storytelling. Like sometimes you do gotta send the crowd home not happy, even though they gave him the little moment of Sami standing tall at the end and played his music. So they still had that moment, which is very like house show like, where it's like, oh, the good guy didn't win, but at least you get to see him stand tall. But that's okay. You gotta have your heart ripped out. You gotta have Thanos win to set up Endgame. And I only compare it to the MCU because, that's not real cinema or whatever bullshit criticism people lobby against them, which is crazy because there's so many real criticisms to lobby against them. But you gotta knock people down hard for when that person rises up. It makes it all the more worth it, and that's what they're doing here, and I'm okay with that. And I think, sad as we are right now, and as upset as some of us are right now, ultimately it's going to be worth it. Also, I really want a 6-man tag of Cody, Sami, and Kevin Owens versus Roman and the Usos. I think that'll be just delightful. But about Drew losing, yeah, I mean, I think they could have. That was a time where they could have pulled the trigger, but we didn't know what we'd have now. Then the Cody thing didn't seem that exciting back then, and the Sami thing didn't seem like a reality back then. So at the time, I was like, yeah, I'd like Drew to win. You'll never get a chance like this again. But also, they fucked that ending up badly. Having him sing with what's that, Tyson Fury? Like, that's not a real name, bro. What the fuck? Was really stupid. But all right, let's all take a deep breath. Let's all relax. Let's all gather our thoughts, compose ourselves. I'm just using this as the tactic to drink some water, but let's all regroup, and I guess we'll go to the top of the show. Although I kind of want to go in reverse chronological order because the show was pretty good. But the show started off with the women's chamber match to determine the number one contender for the Raw Women's title. And now look, that shouldn't be the case. They should have been fighting for number one contendership for the SmackDown Women's title. And the same person that won should have won. But whatever. What are you going to do? Charlotte ruins things just by being there. And that includes somehow the Raw Women's division, which is on SmackDown. But Natalya took on Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Asuka, Carmella, and Nikki Cross in a fun chamber match that kicked off the show. Natalya's from Canada, and she got a big reaction for Natalya. No, you're wrong, Eric. Fighting for number one contendership after the Royal Rumble isn't silly. It's awesome that the Chamber does that. It's just lame that it's for the Raw title when it should have been for the SmackDown title. There's no reason Rhea should have chose Charlotte over Bianca. There's no reason that the winner of this match should be facing Bianca instead of Charlotte. But the match started off with Liv and Natalya, who Natalya got a hometown reaction, but nothing compared to Sami, obviously, nothing compared to Kevin Owens, or nothing compared to just other people who aren't from Canada on this show, because Natalya is mid as fuck. You're not here, Chad, but you can't win this argument because it's not just an uphill battle. It is a battle. It's not uphill. There's no hill. It's flat land, and you're trying to go up. That's end of story. You can't jump that high, bro. Gravity exists, and you're not stronger than it, and Natalya sucks. But she started off the match with Liv Morgan. How do you get Liv to love you? Be a little creepier, I guess. Become a horror movie villain. I think that'd be your best bet. But Liv's awesome. I thought Liv looked great in this match, honestly, which is good because there's two pay-per-views in a row where Liv looked good after losing all of her momentum the second half of last year, thanks to one really bad booking decision. So remember these things when you're praising Triple H all the time, that he's made a lot of bad booking decisions already in this time too. But Natty and Liv start off the match. It's fine, some decent stuff. And then Raquel comes in and they have an okay. So you think Triple H has money and Liv? Tell him, tell that to him when he was booking her fucking title reign, bro. Okay? Because that makes it seem like he didn't. I think Vince saw more money in her than Triple H did. She looked basic and fine. Like, she's not bad. She's just not as good as people bring out like she's so underrated, which makes her overrated because she's not underrated. She's fucking bang average at best. She's a terrible character and a decent wrestler. And she doesn't take criticism well, so sorry, Natalia. He's the one that ruined Liv, though. Okay? Like, that's the difference. Like, I know he also kind of fucked Theory over too, but like, Liv was doing just fine until Triple H got involved. But they looked good. Raquel came in. They did a spot that looked like both Raquel and Natalia botched the spot. It was a cool idea though. After that, I want to say Nikki came in. Yeah, Nikki came in. She's running wild. She jumps off the pod. She didn't take her jacket off for like the first 2 minutes. It was fun. Nikki is fun again. And they're having a blast. They're having some good spots. Liv took a nice what is it? It's not a monkey flip. What is it called? All right, whatever. She took a nice bump into the pod, and she got just that perfect sound, that perfect thud sound with it. It was great. Nikki jumps off the pod, lays everyone out. It's a lot of fun. Carmella comes in, and this is so weird because I think it's funny. I was just shitting on Natalia, and I'm about to like praise Carmella, but I think Carmella is perfect in her role. Carmella's not the best at anything, but she nails her job. Like, she is par. She is what I believe par is. She comes in, everyone's laid out. Classic Carmella spot where she just tries to pin everyone. Basic heel stuff, but she does it serviceably and it works. And she never steps over her character's strength. Okay. Way to go, buddy. This is first time producing something. Cut him some slack. But she tries to pin everyone, and then she goes hides back in her pod. And it's just, she is so good at the fundamental heel spots. And then I guess that's when my praise ends, because I can't tell you a single thing she did in this match after. And Asuka comes in last, and she starts wrecking house. She beats up Carmella. She beats up everyone pretty much. And then we start getting some eliminations. Oh, actually, did Nikki get eliminated before that? Well, Raquel ran Nikki through her pod, broke the plexiglass. Looked great. Good spot. And then pinned her off of it. That's something I actually really, really liked, is that spot led to someone getting eliminated instead of just having it be a spot that writes them out of the match until the end of the match where they get up and run wild. I liked that spot was actually a fatal blow to someone and got someone out of the match, because it's so annoying when like a big guy pushes someone through or goes to the pod and they're both out for like 8 minutes and then they come back and like good. I'm glad the spot had consequences and someone lost because of it. So Nikki didn't look bad at all. She got the spot off the pod and she ran wild for a bit. So her taking the first elimination was fine. And the camera missed this. That was the only problem with this, is that the pin happened during replay, and you could kind of see on her face that her eyes were open and she was smiling, but commentary fucking blew that shit. And so did production, because they missed it. So how could commentary have seen it when it was not on their screen? So I won't rag on them too hard. It was more of a production thing than a commentary thing, but you know, the Wade chamber, to some degrees, I can see that. But Asuka's running wild. The double, her and Natalia double eliminate Liv. The Natalia puts in the sharpshooter because it's Canada, and you gotta. That's the only problem with this match is Natalia being in it for so long, where it's like there's no reason that she should last longer in this match than anyone, honestly. But you got to do it. We got real quick. I'm so sorry to interrupt this, but we got some breaking news here on the Market Down podcast. It's going to be Edge versus Theory for the U.S. title on Monday. That's fucking wild. What? How is that going to end? Probably with Judgment Day interference costing Edge the match, but what the fuck? Edge is wrestling on Raw for the U.S. title against, bro. They are really, really strapping the rocket to this guy. We'll talk about it later, but that's exciting. Cool shit. But anyway, Natalya and Asuka have Liv in a double submission and she passes out, which is a nice touch. It's nice protect. One of the only parts of the match that got booed, Natalya got booed for this. The only time Asuka and Natalya got booed in this match was for this elimination, but fucking another thing I liked about this was that Liv sold it. One thing I hate, and Raquel did it like 5 minutes later, and I fucking hate it. I hate when people in the chamber get eliminated by pinfall, meaning they're knocked the fuck out and they get pinned, and then they immediately start rolling out of the ring. That is bad selling. That is bad logic. It's a pet peeve. Ultimately, I don't think most people care that much, but it bothers me. So I like to Liv just laid there because she, passed out from a submission. So it'd be weird if she rolled away 2 seconds later and then eventually had to be like carried out of the match. It's very nice touch. Liv looked good. Everyone looked good in the match because no one got eliminated till the end of the match. So, it made everyone look pretty good. Everyone had played their role really, really well. Raquel and Carmella beat the shit out of Asuka and Carmella, beat the shit out of Raquel and just basically hit her with, super kick, roundhouse kick, super kick while she's on her knees, and then like a shining wizard, but a kick. And then they both pinned her, which was nice. And then Raquel immediately started rolling out of the ring, which it's just stupid. It's one of those small things in wrestling that I can't fucking let go of. I don't mind when an Irish whip happens, but yeah, Eric, I get it. You always hate face versus face matches, but it's fine. One of them's a murder clown, so I think they're diametrically opposed enough for it to be okay. But Carmella eliminates Natalya because you got to get that heat, and Carmella's the perfect person to do it in this match. So she eliminates Natalya, who's in this match way too long. That's okay. I'm sure it made like 2 people happy, like Chad and Nick, because they're on the bad type of drugs. But it comes down to Carmella and Asuka, which is nice because Carmella has 2 wins over Asuka on pay-per-view. So, there is something there. There's history in the past there between them. And Asuka picks up the win with her new fun submission where you can't see the person tapping. But Asuka's going on to face Bianca, and all I can say is she should be facing Charlotte. It lasted that long because that's like his wife, and that's the whole thing. Oh, why she lasted so long? Not why him hyping up. Because she was the heel in the match. The only other heel was Nikki and Natalya. Natalya was definitely a heel on TV like 2 weeks ago, but then was his face on Smack. Natalya makes no sense. She is Big Show, but without any of the value Big Show has. Yeah, no, I'm fine with that because she is the perfectly serviceable heel. And she does her role really well. She plays that mid-card heel very, very well. And her being, like I said, she has the history with Asuka, so that's why I think it worked. like I said, I think this was structured pretty well, where no one looked bad per se, and everyone looked decent to good. So I'd say the chamber overall was a success. But moving on, um, like I said, I don't want to harp too much on how I don't think Asuka should be facing Bianca and Asuka should be facing Charlotte and Rhea should be facing Bianca, because Asuka needs that win back over Charlotte more than Rhea does. Charlotte retiring would be nice too, but again, we're not going to dive into that. Me and Rev did a whole episode about that. So now, producer boy, we're going to move on to Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley. Yeah, I said Goldberg. It might as well have been. I didn't watch this match. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to level with you right up front. I could have pretended to watch it. I could have said, yeah, the two big guys went at it. And of course, it's a Brock Lesnar match. So, there was suplexes. There was a lot of finishers, a lot of kickouts of finishers, and a lot of nothing, a lot of big explosions, and not a lot of in-between stuff. And I feel like I just described the match pretty well. But I caught the very ending where Brock Lesnar was in the Hurt Lock and kicked Lashley in the dick and got DQ'd. This made no sense. This was dumb. This made it seem like they're going to have a match at Mania, but apparently Bray Wyatt challenged the winner of this match to a match at Mania, more or less. So that doesn't make sense. How's that going to work out? I don't get it. Why not just have a finish? Why are they so weird about protecting Lashley for no reason? What's the payoff for always protecting Lashley? I don't fucking get it. A triple threat between Bray and these two guys sounds like Bobby Lashley belongs nowhere near Bray Wyatt. That will just expose Lashley for the mediocre character that he is. I like Lashley. I always feel like I'm so harsh on him. It makes it sound like I hate him, but I don't get it. I don't get why Lashley's so weirdly protected. And again, to no payoff. Who is he putting over? What's the point? He's not an attraction like Lesnar. So and Lesnar puts more people over than Lashley. Why didn't we have a Lashley versus Roman match at any point in this title reign? Bro, it's Cowboy Brock, man. Who gives a fuck? He doesn't give a fuck. He's not the same guy. I don't think he's taking himself that seriously anymore. But I don't know. This was dumb. I didn't like it. And I only saw the end of it, but the ending was dumb. And I don't want any more of this. They're 0 for 3. They are 0 for 3. Can we stop? Lashley, I know it's the match you came back for, but bro, you should have stuck to MMA or Bellator. I don't know what the difference is. I don't watch that fake shit. But this dream match of yours, bro, is not even. It's not even a nightmare. It's nothing. It's no dream. It's just being asleep and then waking up. So I don't know how to describe it. But whatever. That's all I can say, because I only saw the last 2 minutes of the match. So, I'm sorry. I was on my way home from work, and I was a few minutes behind, and I was like, this is the match I'm skipping over. So to move on to something I did watch and enjoyed more, which, watching it helps, I guess. It was the mixed tag, the intergender tag. It was Beth Phoenix and her less brolic husband Edge versus Finn Balor and his more brolic friend Rhea Ripley, in a very, very fun tag match that I personally enjoyed. I'm a little biased. I love Beth. I love Rhea. I love Finn. Edge is cool. He's no Christian, but he's cool. But this match was fun. I'm going to be upfront right now. There were two big botches in this match. One was Dominic Mysterio badly messing up his timing on his interference, to the point where he did it in front of everyone, and everyone has to move on. And Beth failed to break up a pin later, which the ref just stopped counting. But, Edge is from Canada, and they were in Canada. So you bet your ass this crowd was forgiven. It took the air out for about a whole minute, but they quickly got it back. This match was fun. I agree, Eric. This feels gone way too long, but at the same time, it's not like, JAS versus Blackpool Combat Club, where it's been going on for way too long. It's been going on, but it hasn't been going on. that's the only people I've just been feuding with for like 8 months, but he's only been there for like 3 months worth of time. So let him pay it off. It's Edge's Jericho. His feuds are going on way too long, and that's just how it is. But this match was a lot of fun. Everything Beth and Rhea did, I absolutely loved. I couldn't tell you a single thing Edge and Finn did besides the ending, but Beth and Rhea cursed a lot. There's a lot of cursing on this show, not just from the crowd. Uh, Beth and Rhea had a nice exchange where they tried to clothesline each other, and they were talking so much shit. It's like, you can't knock me down with the like Beth was like, "Oh, I've been waiting for this," and Rhea's like, "Oh, you've been waiting for this?" Like, "Yeah, I've been waiting for this, bitch." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And Rhea's like, "Oh, you've been waiting for this, bitch? I've been waiting for this fucking. I've been fucking waiting." She dropped an F bomb. That shit got censored. But yeah, they had a nice clothesline exchange where they couldn't knock each other down. They were doing it at the same time. They were stiff clotheslines. Yeah, they were fuck you, Dominic chants as well. So good. Dominic was getting some great heat. Like I said, he fucked up really bad, but like, ultimately, Dominic is bad. That's the thing. That's not just the character that, he's bad, but we're acting like he's not. Like, he is actually bad in real life, and we're acting like he's not because he's finally found a way to be entertaining. The heat he gets is amazing. But yeah, Beth and Rhea mixed it up for a while. They worked most of the match. Beth better than 90% of the women's roster and 40 to 60% of the male roster. Rhea, fantastic. Everyone looked good here except Finn, but it's okay. Yeah, he's leaning into how bad he is. That's what everyone should be. Yeah, we're all exactly like, he's not getting better, but he's leaning into it, which is making the presentation better, which makes him enjoyable. And that's okay in this situation because, again, it's becoming entertaining. It's becoming enjoyable. It's fun to boo him now. And these reactions are fun. Like, if you didn't laugh at that, like, come on. I don't think anyone has legit go away heat with him anymore. It's more like, fuck you, Dominic, and that's the fun of it, But eventually, when Beth does get, she had a nice superplex on Rhea, and just a lot of fun stuff. But eventually she gets the tag back to Edge after a long segment. She also beat up Finn a lot in this match, which, again, totally buy. Finn has the best abs in maybe all of sports, but, Beth's biceps are the size of his head. She gets the tag to Edge. He runs wild for a bit. A lot of shenanigans on the outside. They both have Edge's, what's the execution? Whatever is, all of his moves have Edge puns in him, so I got them all mixed up, but he has it locked in on Finn. Beth locks it in on Rhea. Fun. Rhea stops Finn from tapping and just is literally talking to him while they're in the submission. Like, no, don't. It was nice. And then Dominic does some brass knucks. Rhea hits Edge with them. A lot of shenanigans again. Shenanigans after shenanigans after shenanigans. Beth hits a glam slam on the mat to Rhea. Edge hits a spear, and then they hit a shatter machine. They had a fight in a tribute to the late great FTR. Where the fuck are they? Who knows? We'll never see them again, ever, anywhere. Never again. We'll never see FTR ever again. They didn't lose their friend CM Punk, so they're definitely not coming back to WWE to be with their friend Edge. But they had a shatter machine on Finn. It was so fun. And they got the win. And yeah, I don't care. This match was so fun that I don't care that they beat the girl, won the Royal Rumble, and was going on to face Charlotte at WrestleMania. She didn't get pinned, and she looked fucking great. Everyone in this match looked great except Finn, but that's okay. Like, that's fine. A lot of fun. He's doing what Ronda should be doing. Yeah. Great fucking point, Eric. Yeah, I agree. He really, he's really doing what Ronda's needed to do for 4 years now. But great shit. I enjoyed it. I'm always happy to see Beth. I'm sometimes happy to see Edge. Always happy to see Rhea. Most of the time, happy to see Finn. And ever since he became entertaining, I'm very happy to see Dom as well. Fun stuff. I don't have much else to say about it because as fun as it was, it's not weird because she got to mix it up with the Hall of Famer, and that is good. And she looked great. She beat the shit out of her for a lot of the match. And like I said, I think she'll just get a win on a Raw on Monday or 2 weeks from now. They'll have a match, and Rhea will win. She'll get a big win leading up to Mania. That'll make it a little offset her not being pinned in a tag match. Like that's it's not a yeah, but the thing is, her title match doesn't matter because it's with Charlotte. Who gives a fuck? That's the problem again. The Charlotte problem of everything. It just who cares? I don't. I anyone who does is only cares about Rhea. No, you move on, producer boy. You haven't changed the graphic. The fuck. Uh, Time to move on, I guess. To the United States Championship Men's Elimination Chamber. Bro, this chamber was like perfect. I don't know what else to say. Like there's so much. There's so much. Rollins and Gargano started it and they were fucking great. It was the first time they've ever grappled together. It was beautiful. I want to see like a 40-minute match between them now. It was great. This chamber almost did single-handedly revitalize Gargano, who's been so fucking stale on the main roster. Seth is awesome. We all know that. Of course they started the match. Who else could you have start this amazing match? I'm going to say this right now. I'm so glad Nick, James, and Chad aren't here for this. Theory won me over a lot in this match. I still don't think he's multiple-time world championship material, but I'm fine with him being some sort of guy for the next couple of years. I still don't think he's what everyone else sees in him, but he was fun. He was a lot of fun in this match. He came in third. All good stuff. They had the nice parallel, and commentary was great in this match, actually pointing out, oh, these are his two mentors. These are the two leaders of the two groups he's been in. And now look at him. It was really, really good. Then Damian Priest came in. He ran wild. And this is when I realized all of Damian's moves, besides the one thing where he claps in front of someone, are someone else's moves. And that might be someone's moves too, but like, dude hits an I'm prettier, just a throwaway move, hits a choke slam, at least makes it different by sitting out. It's like a sit out choke slam, but like he used to have the crossroads. He hit the original dirty deeds in this match. He eliminated Gargano later on with the Razor's Edge, and it's like, dude, this dude has no original moves. I just realized, and that's fine. I think that's why I've always kind of thought he was a good wrestler, because it's everyone's finishers from 15 years ago. But then Bronson Reed comes in, and I don't give a fuck about Bronson Reed, and he was good in this match, but not good enough where I'm like, I get it. It was just good enough where I'm like, he did his part in the match. He had his big man spots. Everyone ran wild. And then I don't know if anyone's heard this, but my cat is meowing outside my door again. But who came in last? Oh, Montez Ford, yeah. And yeah, like Eric said, Montez Ford is gonna be everyone's favorite wrestler next year, guaranteed. That's good. You can't hear the meow, and I'm glad. I can hear it though, and it's annoying me. But it's too late. I can't let her in now. I have a fucking co-host here to stall for like 30 seconds. But everyone ran wild in this match. I can't even begin to list off how many good spots there were in this match, but every fucking thing hit in this match. Montez looked like $1,000,000, got over like crazy. Damian looked fucking great. Like, just like he did in the gauntlet match, he has proven that he can go at his fucking old ass age of, I don't know, almost 40. Bronson did some big man stuff, and it was fine. Like I said, Gargano felt the most like Johnny Wrestling since he's been on the main roster, since he came back to WWE. And Seth is always great. Seth is the best. He's the best wrestler in WWE, and it's undisputed at this point. But after Gargano, Rollins, and Theory, and Ford, Gargano, Rollins, and Ford super kick Bronson Like it starts as just Montez. Then him and Gargano double super kick him. Then him, Gargano, and Rollins triple super kick him. Then Gargano hits a slingshot DDT. Rollins hits a stump. Ford hits a splash. They eliminate Bronson. Montez fucking drops from the top of the chamber, like literally climbs to the top, or not directly to the top, but past the level that everyone normally climbs to, and drops down on everyone. I believe it's also how Priest gets eliminated, but after everyone, like Priest hits a Razor's Edge on Gargano to eliminate him, but not before him and Seth had my favorite moment of maybe the whole show, where they're both climbing up on a pod on opposite sides and knock the other people chasing them down, and they're both sitting on the pod facing the opposite way and slowly turn towards each other and just laughing for a minute before Seth chops Gargano. And I just love that spot. I screenshotted it. I'm definitely going to make some memes with that shit, but I really, really like that spot for no reason, because it was just like it was a moment. It wasn't really a spot as much as it was a moment of the two guys just basking in it, because this match got like 4 or 5 different "this is awesome" chants, and this is just one of those times where it gave the crowd a chance to give a stand and no, and really just appreciate what they were seeing. Seth has really found himself, even as a face, he's still likable as opposed to the last time. Yeah, it's because he didn't, like you said, he didn't change anything. He's just embracing, because he was a heel that wanted adulation, adulation, and he's just a face that still wants that, and nothing's changed. He almost lost it with wearing those stupid boots, but fucking Gargano gets eliminated by Priest. Priest gets eliminated by Ford. It's down to 3. It's down to Montez Ford, Seth Rollins, and Austin Theory. Seth Rollins, 4-time world champion, second biggest star in the men's side of things besides Roman, and I guess Cody now, so probably third, I guess, not counting the part-timer like Lesnar. Austin Theory, a guy who they're grooming to be John Cena, to be a worse John Cena, to be at best a Randy Orton, but again, was fantastic in this match. And then Montez fucking Ford, guy who people think has rock-like potential, guy who's so charismatic that he is just an average wrestler that people pop so hard for, because he has this energy that just is infectious and makes you enjoy what he's doing, which is, besides this amazing frog splash, is just regular wrestling moves. They really have a perfect formula here. And Ford gets eliminated by Theory, but after a Seth stomp on the outside. So they made this guy look like $1 million here. Everyone looked amazing. The end of this match was whatever. Logan Paul came out, hit the best and most well-known buckshot lariat in the world on Rollins, and then hit a terrible stomp on him, and then Theory won. And it was a limp ending, but it's fine. It set up the WrestleMania match. I'd still say this is the best chamber match since 2014, with Dan Bryan, Orton, Cesaro, Sheamus, and a whole bunch of fun stuff. But yeah, I think this was the best Elimination Chamber pay-per-view since 2014, and the best Elimination Chamber match since 2014. I thought this was great. I didn't mind the Logan Paul stuff at the end, because it's setting up a match. I don't give a fuck. It's fine. It's okay. It wasn't great, but it's fine. It's inoffensive to me, so I'll take that. And you got to protect Seth. Theory can't win clean. It's too soon for that. That defeats the whole purpose of his chicken shit heel character. But yeah, overall, I thought this show fucking, if I could use a word I shouldn't really say, but I thought the show slapped. I thought this show was the bee's knees, and that's to prove that I shouldn't have said slap, as I said bee's knees right after. But fantastic chamber, fantastic show. Made me very excited. What a shocker in the chat by Eric, producer boy, Chris Santai. Jay White lost against Eddie Kingston. Surprise, surprise. Who cares? WWE doesn't want him. They're after the bigger fish. They're after Kenny Omega. Okay. Who cares? I mean, cool. I like Jay White. If he shows up in AEW, awesome. If he shows up in WWE, good fucking luck, buddy. But yeah, fun show. What'd you guys think? I mean, like, not like right now in real time. I guess leave a comment on the video, or put it in the chat. Maybe I'll, in my long rambly outro, I'll catch wind of it. I'm really tired. I feel like you can see it. But yeah, the show was great. WrestleMania has some fucking shoes to fill. Apparently, WWE is 2 for 2, two good pay-per-views so far this year. I'm excited for Revolution. Stay tuned, I think, this week for Revolution predictions. Yeah. Everyone, don't drink and drive. Be nice to animals. Tell a Canadian thank you. And everyone, have a great night. Please leave. Producer boy, send us home.